Thank you, Mr. Lockhart. That was very kind of you. I can't thank you enough for granting me the honor of giving you the speech. I want to thank the whole Board of Education as well. But none of our accomplishments really would have been possible were it not for our parents who were behind us the entire way. And more than that, I want to thank my own parents, who are obviously the best parents in the world. And hopefully one day I can say they can be as proud of me as I am of them. I also feel honored to give recognition to the teachers out there who have dedicated so much time and effort to helping us learn and foster as a community. Your contributions have helped to make Avondale the wonderful, inviting home that it has been for the last 12 years. But every home has its own drawbacks. And over the last 4 years, I've noticed that Avondale has something of a drinking problem. It seems that wherever I went, whoever I'd approached, everywhere I went, I'd see a drinker, a heavy drinker. It all started with freshman math. As I sat there on test day, desperately trying to remember the formulas for converting a double angle, Miss Davila's infamous coffee would always be brewing in the background. It took some time to get used to it, but somewhere along the lines, I grew so accustomed to the smells and sounds of coffee in the morning that I couldn't even take a math test without any of it. I'm sure that you all remember your own first sips of coffee. Some of you may have liked it right away, but most of you probably found it at least a little bit bitter. But something made you want to try it again. And while it was a new taste, and albeit a bitter one, there was just something about it that kept you, well, enthralled. Freshman year was my first sip of coffee. Even though high school wasn't quite as magical as I'd expected, I knew that I still wanted more. And eventually, I started shaping and adding to my own coffee until it became the tall, half sugar, extra hot, white chocolate mocha with a splash of hazelnut that I order at Starbucks every day. That's exactly how I started to shape my own high school experience. I learned how to blend tennis, track, theater, orchestra, physics, volunteer work, and schoolwork into one cohesive drink that only I could say is mine. And as I looked around at all my friends and teachers, I noticed that they were all doing the same thing. I noticed that they were all the different varieties of drinks that surrounded me. Fifth Hour Government, for example, always featured Miss Benson's famous 24-ounce Diet Coke. And Mandy's early morning habit of drinking Dr. Pepper was the butt of all of our daily jokes in English class. And that's not mentioning all the Monster cans, 5-Hour Energies, and hundreds of varieties of bottled water that I'd see on any given day. With all the different varieties that people seem to prefer, I knew that there was so many different possibilities out there. And that wasn't true for just the drinks either. I noticed that people were involved in so many different extracurriculars and activities. But only one thing really united us all. We always wanted more to drink. And the worst part was, it didn't just stop at school either. Every afternoon, no matter what was going on, 3:30 was my mom's chai time. It didn't matter whether we were in a different state, at home or on the highway, but 3:30 was chai time. I remember going on a college information session once, a really important one, where we had to leave halfway through just so that we could find my mom's precious chai. Luckily, we stumbled upon a Starbucks and ordered her chai latte for her, only to hear her whine and complain that it wasn't as good as what she makes at home anyway. While she drives me crazy day after day about this addiction, I have to admit that this addiction to chai has taught me exactly what it's like to never let go of a goal. And maybe that's just me, but that's what I think the class of 2011 is all about. Whether it's at home or on the field, whether it's in the math room or on the stage, everybody at Avondale has some sort of thirst that just cannot be quenched. We appreciate what we have, but we know that there's always more waiting for us out there. Always more for us to do. That's why we were league champs in 6 different sports this year. That's why we extended our Go movement overseas this year to help Lupanga and Haiti. We know all the impossible things that we're capable of. And that's why we don't ever give up. We're always thirsty for more, and only we are capable of defining what our perfect drink is. So, in conclusion, class of 2011, I can only give you one piece of advice. Drink responsibly. Thank you.